Congratulations to Chloe Murphy for her prose work, Garden Friends, which is the first place winner of the 2020 Geauga Park's Nature Writing Contest. Chloe introduces her readers to Mr. Spiky Chit Chat, the hedgehog, on what is just another normal, lonely day, until he meets Bob, a little bird who is looking for a friend. Mr. Spiky Chit Chat, the hedgehog, and Bob the bird look for more friends in the garden and later in the deep woods, where they encounter Ari, the cheeky, floppy-eared, brave bunny, Kylie, the leggy deer, and several surprises. Her characters' well-chosen names, her use of vivid description, and her believable dialogue lend momentum to Chloe's story, carrying the reader along as the adventure unfolds. Reminiscent of Kenneth Grahame's magnificent tale, Wind in the Willows, Chloe's characters encounter unexpected challenges as a clear lesson emerges, a moral of the story that reminds us of the power of friendship and the value of teamwork.
Hi, I'm Chloe Murphy, and I'm 8 years old, and I wrote this amazing story called Garden Friends. I hope you like it. It was just another normal, lonely day as Hedgehog aimlessly walked his woodland trail. He lifted his sad head and saw something new. A small bird, looking confused and a little afraid. Hedgehog was worried and asked, "Hi, little bird, are you lost?" "No," peeped the bird. "I was just, waiting for my friend." Hedgehog didn't know why the bird messed up his words, but he wanted to make him happy. "Well, maybe I could be your friend, you know, if your other friend doesn't show up," said Hedgehog. "Oh, I would like that very much," said the little bird, delighted he had found a friend. "So what's your name, bird?" said Hedgehog. "I can't keep calling you bird." "I think it is Bob," was the reply. So that was it. Hedgehog and Bob were friends. "Well, Bob, I have an idea," said Hedgehog. "It was so much fun finding you. How about looking around the garden to find more friends?" "I would love that again," was Bob's reply. So off they went, deeper and deeper into the woods, looking for more friends. But it wasn't easy. The next day, Bob was not happy. "Ugh," he grumped, with no cheep in his voice. "Do we have to walk any further? I've only got 2 legs, you know." "Chill, Bob," calmed Hedgehog. "I know where to go. We're almost there. Just be patient." Another hour passed by, and another. And just when Bob was going to fly off, they found not one animal, but 2, a beautiful deer and a cheeky, floppy-eared little bunny. "Hello," said both Hedgehog and Bob at the same time. "Hi," answered the brave bunny. "I am called Ari, and this leggy guy is—" "Kylie," interrupted the deer. "My name is Kylie." After such a long day and night, and day again, Bob was so happy that he had found more animals, and just as he was going to chirp, Mr. Spiky Chit Chat jumped in. "Would you 2 like to be our friends?" interrupted Hedgehog hopefully. "Yeah, of course we would," said Ari and Kylie, trying not to jump for joy, but still jumping a little. After such a long time walking, they all thought about one word: hungry. And with saying it out loud, they laughed, nodded, and said, "How about digging up weeds for a snack?" This was very exciting, and they were all going crazy, digging up every weed in sight. "Wow, there are so many weeds," said Ari. As she looked closer, she realized, but they seemed to be moving. Suddenly, the weeds started turning into giant weed monsters. "Let's split up and try and fight one of them each," ordered Hedgehog, remembering how he had always faced a challenge by himself. So listening to their prickly leader, that's what they did. But it didn't work. These are not normal weeds. They're too strong," screamed Ari, as one of the weeds flicked his little fluffy bunny cottontail. "I see that now," Hedgehog realized. "So how about we fight each one together as a team?" said Hedgehog. "You got it," they all agreed. So Hedgehog, Bob, Ari, and Kylie got in position, and as a team fought the giant weed monsters one at a time, and it worked. They couldn't believe it. After such a long day, they had defeated these weed monsters, who now lay there as delicious snacks. There was only one thing left to do. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, they shouted, and then a huge 3-animal, 1 bird fist, and wing bump. Friend power, they all shouted. Just before they left to find their next adventure, Bob whispered to Hedgehog, "Go to the beaver spot and get those spikes cut. They hurt." The end. I hope you enjoyed my story.
Congratulations to Jack Penny, whose poem Spring won honorable mention in the 2020 Geauga Park's Nature Writing Contest. Whimsical and musical, this poem is written in 6 rhyming couplets, offering singing dandelions, animals going on post-hibernation vacations, and birds having, what else? Fun, which in the end all adds up to what this poet calls a special spring song. An imaginative, original, delightful work. Congratulations to Jack.
Hi, my name is Jack Penny. Spring. I like the spring woods. I like going on bike rides. I like the cool breeze.
Congratulations to Lena Wright, whose poem Walk Among the Trees won honorable mention in the 2020 Geauga Park's Nature Writing Contest. Mary Oliver wrote, "To pay attention, this is our endless and proper work. Pay attention, be astonished, talk about it," which is what Lena has done here. Her poem is a listing, a catalog of the trees she knows and loves: maples, dogwoods, oaks, beech, white pines, hemlocks. Lena is careful to point out these trees are native to Ohio, and so this is a poem of place. As if inserting a dash of color to an otherwise forest palette, Lena adds a red cardinal calling to its mate. With both end rhymes, state and mate, and internal rhymes throughout, see, tree, free, the 5-line poem is a photograph of sorts, a memorable impression of what is both wild and free. Congratulations to Lena.
Hi, my name is Lena Wright, and I wrote this poem called Walk Among the Trees. This is what I see when I walk among the trees. Maples, dogwoods, oaks galore, snowdrops cover the forest floor. Beeches, white pines, and hemlocks are native to the state, and listen to that cardinal calling to attract a mate. That is what I like to see, creatures running wild and free.
Congratulations to Sienna Taylor for her poem The Great Outdoors, which won 3rd place in the 2020 Geauga Park's Nature Writing Contest. In her poem, she recognizes the goodness of calling things by their proper name, not just a bird, but a red cardinal, a black-capped chickadee. Also, poems engage the reader through the senses. What do you hear, see, smell, taste, touch? In this 18-line poem, Sienna takes her readers through a sensory experience where we not only see, but also hear and feel the presence of animals surrounding us. The flap of the hawk's wing, the whoosh of a swaying tree, the howl of coyote. The poem both documents and invites an experience with the great outdoors. Congratulations to Sienna.
The Great Outdoors by Sienna Taylor. The great outdoors, tweet tweet, so many birdies. Red cardinals, black and white chickadees, and brown hawks. Flap flap, fly the birdies' wings. Whoosh, trees swaying where the birdies make their nests. Oh ho! The coyotes howling in the woods. Crackle crackle, squirrels and chipmunks scampering around playing tag. Woo woo woo! My dog startled me and the baseball animals, and they all scurried away.
Congratulations to Natalie George, whose poem Water won 2nd place in the 2020 Geauga Nature Writing Contest. Natalie's poem, simply entitled Water, is spare. There are no unnecessary words, demonstrating that in poetry, often less is more. And yet the poem and its subject hold a vastness in scope, connecting this poet to an enormous community of writers and thinkers on this same subject. Pulitzer Prize-winning poet Mary Oliver writes, All afternoon I listened to the voices of the river talking. Whenever the water struck a stone, it had something to say. Jacques Cousteau reminds us that the water cycle and the life cycle are one. Poet W.H. Auden writes, "Thousands have lived without love, not one without water." Leonardo da Vinci wrote, "Water is the driving force of all nature." Natalie's poem, it seems, is drawn from her experience of both listening to and observing the many forms water takes and the treasures brought to us by the rivers, waterfalls, lakes. Congratulations, Natalie.
Hi, I'm Natalie George. I'm 11 years old and was a second place winner in the Kids Poetry Contest. My poem is called Water, and here it is. Water, it rushes, many forms it takes. Rivers, waterfalls, even lakes. It rushes past in the summer. In the winter, though, it's a bummer. Little treasures that it provides, shells, rocks, and so much more, all beneath the land of shore. Thank you.
Congratulations, Isabelle Armstrong, whose poem Animal Homes won first place in the 2020 Geauga Park's Nature Writing Contest. Isabelle's poem is written in 8 rhymed couplets, that is, 8 two-line stanzas with rhyming words at the end of each line. Animal homes, honeycomb, gray squirrel, dark burrow, green frog, wet bog, and so on. The rhymes are sophisticated, unexpected, and informative. The beaver builds a lodge out of sticks. It can be as strong as bricks. The poem instills a sense of wonder. Anyone who has ever looked closely at a beaver dam or a bird's nest or any other sort of animal home has to pause to consider how those home builders know the way to construct with such precision and care. And for those who have never looked closely, Isabelle's poem is an invitation to do so.
My name is Isabelle and I'm 9 years old, and the title of my poem is Animal Homes. Animal homes. There are many different animal homes. For example, a bee has a honeycomb. The fluffy gray squirrel lives in a deep, dark burrow. The dripping green frog lives in a muddy, wet bog. Feathered owls live in trees with many, many leaves. A slimy blue fish lives in a pond pool because he thinks it is very cool. The beaver builds a lodge out of sticks. Some people say it can be as strong as bricks. The home I think is best is a bird's moss and twig nest. Animals know as sure as fate how to take care of their homes and make them great. Thank you.